Today on my wife's Facebook page, she received a graphic from a coworker of hers, and he posted it on her page or on her wall, and it said, "I hope the baby you save is gay." And he seemed to think that this was some kind of argument against ending abortion, an argument against being pro-life. And so when I saw that, it was like, wow, I've heard this argument. You've probably heard this argument. We've all heard this argument. And so I jumped on there because my wife tagged me into it, and I just posted up a very quick response, and I want to share this main idea with you. When somebody starts pulling out the whole, well, what if the baby you save is going to be gay? There's three real basic parts to the argument. First and foremost, there is no scientific data to say that homosexuality is genetic. None. In fact, we have the polar opposite. We have the genome code. We have, we have all this biological, genetic, scientific data that all says that there's no difference between a homosexual. We then have psychological data that says that the vast majority of homosexuals came out of abusive relationships or had, a giant heartbreak from somebody of the opposite sex at a young age, things of that nature. And so that's the very first thing, but for a lot of us, we want to shove that argument aside. The second thing is that I don't care whether somebody is going to become gay when they grow up. I don't care if somebody is going to turn into a serial killer when they grow up. I pray to God that that doesn't happen. However, when it comes to saving the life of an unborn child, that means nothing. A human being's choices later in life, or even in the case of, say, Down syndrome children, or people who have, neurological disorders from birth, like schizophrenia, who turn into serial killers, even somebody who has an issue like that, they still have three inalienable rights granted to them by God, not by man, and that is life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So, if a child is born gay, big if, a child is born gay, and they will later on as an adult live a homosexual lifestyle. I do not believe, and for those who claim that we're the identical to Westboro, this is where we can set ourselves apart real clearly. I don't believe that he should die. I believe that every homosexual on this planet, irregardless of the sin that they choose to live in, has the inalienable right to life, which means that I do not have the right to revoke that right to life. I don't have that. If they choose to live a life of homosexuality, that is their right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. They will have to face the consequences, both physical and spiritual, later in their life, but that is their right to choose that lifestyle. It is not my right to take their life. It is in fact my responsibility to defend their life, irregardless of lifestyles. So that's the second, and that is really the core argument right there. But then third, this is something that I heard, I forget who I heard it from first, but now my pastor has been using this like crazy whenever he talks about homosexuality, and I think that this is going to get to the core of the issue. This is, like most of our other arguments, this is where we're going to take the issue that they try and bring up and we're going to turn it around and we're going to bring it back to the gospel. And that is, I don't care if somebody is born gay or not. Let's say that someone was born gay. Let's say that there is a genetic twist that makes a person a homosexual. That doesn't matter. Because you may have been born gay, but God said, Jesus said, that you must be born again. I was born with a predisposition to have infatuations with multiple women. I was born with the desire to get high. I was born with the desire to get drunk. I was born with the desire to become a porn addict. I was born with lots of wicked and sinful desires. We were all born with wicked and sinful desires. Some are different than others, but they're all sinful. That is why Jesus said to be born again. And so here you can use the second and the third argument, because again, a lot of us are going to try and stick away from the first argument. It gets into these stupid circular arguments, and we're really getting off base by using that. But so, your second argument is going to be that their sexuality, their lifestyle choices, their genetic traits have nothing to do with the right to life. You can tie this in with like Down syndrome babies, autistic babies, things like that. And then second off is going to be, irregardless of what they were born with or what lifestyle they chose or whatever, Jesus says that in order for a man to enter the kingdom of heaven, he must be born again. So we're going to cover their argument. We're going to completely void out that argument because, let's be honest, it's a stupid argument. And then from there we're going to turn it right back around into the gospel and into the truth of Scripture and into the life of Jesus Christ.